Here's how we modernise the BMW E21 suspension and brakes for modern roads. So let's start with getting the wheels off and see what we're working with.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
First things first, some new parts. We're going to start with some brake rotors for the front, and these are Brembo discs. Some other bits that we'll be putting in as well: a new rocker cover gasket, we got an oil filter, some hose clamps, then we have our auxiliary belts, there's two of them, Continentals. Then we have our brake pads. So one thing that's interesting is we ordered brake pads for our E21 and we were sent Z4 E85 brake pads. So turns out these are the same, they will fit. So a car from 1982 has brake pads that will fit a modern car that was produced from 2002 to 2008 and vice versa. It's just pretty cool. Then we got some new copper brake line, and we also got the soft lines as well for each wheel. A quick rundown on how brakes in your car work. So you press a pedal that pushes a rod into the brake booster. The brake booster assists in applying force to the master cylinder. It's so you don't have to apply as much force at your foot to get good stopping power. The master cylinder will split into two, one going to your front brakes and one going to your back brakes. Modern cars have an ABS pump after that, but we don't have to worry about that at the moment. So our brakes connect from the master cylinder through the brake lines to our brake caliper, which pushes that piston, which pushes on brake pads, which then clamps the brake disc. And that's what's stopping your car. Now let's actually tackle the brakes on the E21. So just diving straight into it here, there's a lot of corrosion around where the brake master cylinder was actually leaking all onto the brake booster and the bar underneath it, which strips paint, and obviously that leads to rust. So we'll be getting that all fixed up as well. But yeah, we're going to need a new brake booster and master cylinder. So this is just showing the bolts that we needed to remove to get it off. So this pin here was the last thing we needed to pull off to take out the brake booster. So we slided a clip off it, and then you just have to hammer it out. It was really stuck in there, but we got it out in the end. So we got the brake booster and the master cylinder out. This is the lines off. So you have the option to buy a new master cylinder or rebuild the existing one, and we were able to get a rebuild kit for it. So this is the piston pulled out of the old master cylinder now. We're checking everything in the kit looks right, and that we have all the rubber seals, washers, everything that we're supposed to have in it, circlips, and we're going to get them all replaced and then get the piston back into the cylinder and put it all back together. Then of course the old rubber lines swell and seize up inside, so best to get all four of them on. While the calipers are off, obviously there's no reason to not clean them up, spray them up, get them looking nice. So this is the disc, caliper, pads and soft lines back on. And then we got them done for the other side then as well. So this is just another look at them, and we're going to top the cylinder up with .4 brake fluid and then bleed them to make sure we have a good hard pedal and no air in our lines. If you're working by yourself in the garage, this brake bleeder kit is a must. It has a one-way return valve, so when you pump the pedal it will pump air and a bit of fluid out, and it can't allow air back in. So I can get in, stay topping up the reservoir and pumping this until we get pure fluid through it, and then that's how we know we're good to go. We can tighten the bolt back up on the caliper and move on to the next one. Right, now this is how the finished brakes are looking. We have our rebuilt master cylinder, the brake lines are connected back up, it's flushed out, topped up with .4. We have our new brake booster, we have our new vacuum line connected to the brake booster. We have got rid of all the rust, we have resprayed everything in the colour that it should be, so we have it all connected back up there. It's all looking good, it's working perfectly. So yeah, that is it. Moving on to what we did for suspension. So we popped the cap off here, unbolt the 3 bolts for the top mount and then the center bolt. Come down to the bottom, pull off your tie rod end out of here. You'll have pins that go through the bolts to stop them loosening themselves, so you're just going to have to pull them out and then you can unbolt the bolt then. Remove the anti-roll bar here. And then we can pull the whole thing out. It'll actually be easier to replace it while it's off the car. So there it is now. So next what we're going to do, then when disassembling we put spring compressors on the spring so it doesn't explode and kill us.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Do-da, do-da. Hope I get away with it. Oh, do-da day.
So with the spring off, you can tell how blown these old shocks are. I mean, it should be hard to push down, but instead it's just falling down itself with no force at all. So yeah, really good idea that we got new shocks for this. The way we could tell when driving the car these were blown is the car drives very bouncy and you can hear a bang if it goes over a bump. Just a quick animation on how shocks are kind of operating. So they take the bounciness out of the road, they stop the oscillation from the spring after absorbing some impact from a bump. So we've the shock removed from the housing now. At this point it should be a case of we slot the new shock into the housing, we tighten the locking nut back onto it, put our spring back on, slot the whole thing back in, and should be good. So we ordered these new shocks and top mounts that said they would fit an E21, they're Bilstein OEMs. So the E21 setup uses something called cartridge shocks or capsule shocks, which slots into the suspension in a little bath of oil, and it might look like it's leaking. It's actually not leaking. It's used for heat dissipation, corrosion protection, that type of thing. But what I'm realizing here is the new shock center are way too narrow and they're just going to bounce around in it, so they're not going to work. The housing itself is 51mm, and the original Bode shocks that come with it, they're a diameter of 45.3mm, and the new ones I got are 38.2, so they need to be the exact same for it to work. So the problem we were having is no parts stores had the replacement part, the exact same shocks that came out of it, so I was handed a second set of shocks and told these would definitely fit, and guess what, they didn't.
No, I don't like you. If we were in the wild, I would attack you. Even if you weren't in my food chain, I would go out of my way to attack you. If I were a lion and you were a tuna, I would swim out in the middle of the ocean and freaking eat you!
Then third time's the charm, we splashed out and got some Bilstein B6 shocks, which are the correct diameter, so pretty confident they're going to fit, so let's get them in. So our new top mount is in, and that only slots in one way because it's at an angle, so the bolts are actually slightly different sizes. And then this will slide through here on my little thing here and then just bolt there to that, and those shocks fit perfectly. My problem is now this collar needs to be tightened to 130 Newton meters, but I don't have a special tool to tighten that, so I'm going to tighten it up by using a new big pipe wrench here, which should work fine. We got it torqued to 130 Newton meters, so now we're putting the dust caps on, and there's this plastic collar that slides over that the dust cap then slides onto that, so it can't jump back up. Right, so this is it with the spring back in and it bolted into its top mount. You see you actually have to align the spring in a certain way. We'll need to compress it now to get the bottom bits bolted back on, and then that will provide tension and the spring will stay in place and it'll be good to go. And we got the dust caps on properly as well. That's it from the top, all bolted in. And that's it, all back together. It's sitting nice, but more importantly it drives beautiful. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.